Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. I got the heater running. It's crazy from the Baja to the National Forest. So from almost 100-degree weather to I think the high today is going to be like 45. I'm like, what happened? So anyway, today is day 111 days on the road. How great is that? I'm all yelling at you now because the heater just went off. 111 days on the road, and so much has transpired during that time. So much. There were so many changes inside of my relationship in the Baja, which I'm going back and forth on Facebook with somebody because I keep calling it the Baja, and that seems to really bother them. It's just Baja. I'm like, well, that's me, pattern disruptor. Obviously what I've been doing in my relationship too, and inside of me. So I guess probably 3 weeks, just kind of went MIA in here. Some of it was no cell phone service, but honestly, 80% of it was I didn't feel like I was doing what my intention on the channel was to do, which was to be honest about what was going on in our relationship, you know, what the emotional side of this journey was, and I was not doing that. There's a few videos in there right now where I think I was pretty honest about what was going on with us, but I got so wrapped up in story and stuck in story and the stories I was telling me about his behavior, and he was telling himself about my behavior, and you know, we were just creating these monsters out of each other. And let me tell you, when I'm locked up in story, it's like I can't think straight. I can't, you know, I'm basically non-functioning at this point, you know. And it's really tough when you're at odds in a little bitty box like this. You know what I mean? That's deafening silence when you're on a connection. That did not come out as well as I thought it would at all. But anyway, it got ugly. Like, it got really ugly between us. You know, we were both really locked up, and we just barreled out of Mexico. I mean, we had other reasons to get out of Mexico. We'd been out of, you know, our greens, our shakes, you know, and without proper nutrition, you can't function well anyway. So, you know, there were a lot of things, a lot of other reasons we needed to get out. But honestly, when we were heading up to the States, I thought we were going to part company once we crossed the border. I was going to find a ride back to Reno and just try to figure out what I was doing differently, because I just was like, I don't know why we keep ending up here. I keep looking over there at my hair. It's like some bedhead. That's better. No. So anyway, the last 2 weeks, you know, the coming up out of the Baja, and then we've been back in the States a little over a week, something like that now. We've had a couple of more like in and outs. We had a really good coming back together right before we hit the States, which thank God we had to be in the Baja so long that we had to figure something out, because we were both so uncomfortable. You cannot be that close to someone, like in physical proximity of someone that you have a problem with for very long before you get so uncomfortable that something's got to break, something's got to crack, something has to be different. And so we reestablished the fact that we really do think that we're the best for each other. The fact that we bring up each other's shit all the time is actually good. I know a lot of people want to run away from that stuff, but it's like, that's where the expansion of you happens, is when you get uncomfortable. And we make each other pretty uncomfortable. So I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my honey. I've learned a lot about us as a couple. And I mean, you'd have to ask him what he's learned and what's changed for him. And maybe someday he'll come in here on these with me. But for right now, he's made it really, really apparent that I should be as honest as I want to be on this channel, regardless. I shouldn't be worried about what he's thinking. I shouldn't be worried about what his friends are going to think. None of that stuff. That if my intention is to be honest, then I should be honest. So that's what I'm going to start doing, which is kind of really rejuvenated me for this channel, because I didn't want to do it if I wasn't doing what my intention was. So I'm back, and I'm going to be completely honest about what's going on behind the scenes. I've done a ton of research the last week or so about relationships and different stuff, and as well as I'm getting a lot better about trusting my intuition. I've been really good at being like, okay, what's the problem? You obviously, this is not my problem, this is yours. And I'm like, oh, then I better look deeper at this, huh? Hang on just 1 second. I made you a shake?
I think so.
I'm making a video.
Oh, I'll shut this thing off.
The truck's not bothering me. And so what I've found in the last few days especially is that it's not so much how he treats me or what his behavior is towards me, it's how I respond to it. You know what I mean? And when I go into story or I go to this place where I'm like reactive to his behavior, then I'm just being no different than him and we're not going to make any progress. You know what I mean? Like when he makes some snarky comment and I'm like, oh really? So it's going to be like that? Then fucking fine. I can be that way too. Then we both get locked up, you know? And I have a really good friend who used to be a boss of mine many, many years ago who used to always say to me, Arlene, do you want to be right or do you want to get your way? And that's what this is about. It's like, do I want to be right or do I want to get my way? I want to get my way. I don't care about right or wrong, you know? And it's so easy for me to get locked up in story when he does something that's rude or indifferent or whatever his passive-aggressive shit is that he does. I mean, I do it too. I'm passive-aggressive too. Instead of just telling him how I feel about something and just speaking my mind, I'll just like get quiet or distant, you know what I mean? And then, you know, because I want him to prime me and see what's really good. And that is bullshit. That's childish. It's a game. He does it with me. I do it with him. And it's like, no. So when I feel myself going to that snarky place after something he's done, I'm like, no, no, no. No, no, no. You hold your space. You hold what you're doing. You know what I mean? You stay playful, joyful, whatever. You know, like, if his behavior can change my vibration, then I am in a conditional relationship where it's his responsibility to make me happy. And that's not okay. That's not self-sustaining or anything else. So some of the advice that I got, like especially yesterday, I read so many articles yesterday, and one of them was this guy had asked like 1,500 people to write him a paragraph on why their marriage failed, or what advice they would give to a newlywed, as well as in that mix of people were couples who had been married 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And so the advice from the married couples and the people who are divorced and had seen what could have fixed their marriage, there was very few actual points. You know what I mean? And one of them was, you don't have to communicate about everything. Like, you got to just let shit go. You know, you're not going to resolve everything. You don't need to talk about everything. So that helped a lot too, because it's like those people who'd been married for a long time was just like, there's just stuff we're just never going to agree on. We're just not going to agree on it. And then one of the other things was learn to fight. Yeah. And that is, I think, honestly, is 90% of mine and Curtis's problem. We both refuse to fight. We don't want to upset the other one. We don't want the drama of it. We don't want this. We don't want that. And then we end up in this space where it's like we're both putting on this show that we're okay when we're not. And it's obvious that we're not. And then we get further and further apart, more and more disconnected. And it just doesn't work. So I've started just speaking my truth. And I don't know how he's taking it or how he's dealing with it. He looks a little taken back in the moment, like, really just saying that. But he knows it's coming. I've already talked to him about it. I'm like, no, dude, we're going to learn how to fucking fight. We're going to learn how to fight. And not nasty fight, but just something, you got to say something to say it. Don't be afraid to piss me off, and I'm not going to be afraid to piss you off. That doesn't mean we're going to be nasty to each other. Even during all the locked up times in Baja, we were never nasty to each other. He didn't say mean words to me. I didn't say mean words to him. I mean, there was an indifference, and indifference is very painful for me. So even though we weren't yelling and screaming and hitting and doing all that other, you know, crazy drama fighting, we need to learn how to fight. We just need to be able to speak our truth. And you know what? I am not worried about upsetting him anymore. I'm just not going to worry about that. And I'm not going to worry about whether I'm being, you know, the way he needs me to be. And no, I'm going to be me. And if that doesn't work out for him, then I'm doing both of us a service. You know? He doesn't need to have me in his life if I'm not working for him. And I don't need him in my life if he's not working for me. You know? But I think the opposite is going to happen. I think that we're going to become more playful, more secure, and just more relaxed, you know? There's nothing worse than walking around on eggshells with somebody. And when you live in a little box like this, you can't do that. You cannot do that. So, I'm not doing that anymore. So more will be revealed again. But I feel stronger. I feel like my chest is out. I feel like my head is up. I'm not distracted in my thoughts. I'm just here. And it is so good. And I'm so excited. And I also have to remind myself all the time that it's all temporary. All of it's temporary. And all of it's a part of the process. Those locked up times in Baja, I'm just like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened in my whole entire life. And it's just not going to work. And I don't know how to get out of it. How great would it have been if I could have stopped in the middle of all of that and just been grateful for the process of it? You know? That's what I forget. I'm really quick to just want everything to be perfect in every little moment. Like, let us just be the best couple ever already. Well, no, that takes time. It takes effort and courage and vulnerability. And we're both older. We've been through some shit, you know? So, anyway, this video is definitely way longer than my videos normally are. But it's been a while since I've been on here. And I had quite a few things to say. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make it a daily thing again, but it'll at least be 3 or 4 times a week. I think those are really good updates for what's going on behind the scenes and where we're at and that kind of stuff. But I am definitely putting more energy into the Barefoot Expedition channel right now. I've got a ton of footage to make into videos of our time in Mexico. So anyway, I'm just really excited about this journey. I'm really excited about the journey with my honey, how we're growing as people and as a couple, and I don't know. I think that coming out here and doing this is actually what has created a deeper relationship for he and I, and it's going to continue to create a deeper one. There's so many aspects to doing this that really makes you a team, you know, so we were still a team even when we didn't like each other, you know, so I think that's a big statement. Usually when people are in pain, they get really mean, and he and I don't get mean. We just get really quiet and really distant, and that's painful for me. Distance is painful for me. So anyway, I absolutely have missed all the interaction with you guys, and I love all the support of you guys, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Day 111. Thanks for watching.